It's so good seeing clients get it. It's so good seeing clients move into their versions of what I know, that every life experience is the charmed life. Welcome to Worthiness Wednesday. And boy, do I have a good subject to talk about today. But before that, I'm Perry Gruber, the Enlightenment Guy. For over a decade, this is my spiel. I've helped people master their mindsets so they can create lives they love and get results without the burnout or the hustle. And today I want to talk about a client I've been talking about in several videos now, a transgender client I'm calling Samira, who had an experience this past week at the time of me creating this video that illustrates the beautiful dynamic between you and the universe, and how the universe is helping you clarify what it is you want so that you can realize what you desire with no effort, and as a result of that, live joyfully in the now. In previous episodes, in previous videos, I've talked about Samira relative to her dating experiences. But one of the main reasons why Samira came to the Positively Focused practice is because she was feeling anxiety and equivocation around whether or not she wanted to get gender confirmation surgery. She had it scheduled for April, and she came to me in November or December. And at that time, she was unsure as to whether or not she wanted it. This is a big procedure. I think it costs like $200,000 or $400,000 to get the whole thing complete if you were paying out of pocket. Samira has insurance, and so she doesn't have to pay the full cost. As we were moving through November and December and January and February, Samira was not 100% certain that she wanted to get the surgery. But she also wanted to get the surgery. She was just unclear as to whether or not her desire to get the surgery was endemic to who she was, like part of her personal trajectory, her life trajectory, or whether or not she was reacting to indoctrination from others, like her parents or her friends or her experiences from the past. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that. It's not that important. What is important is what happened last week at the time of me creating this video. It was last week. It was a week before her surgery. Her surgery is scheduled for this Tuesday. But last week, she got a notification from her insurance company that they weren't going to cover the surgery. And it put Samira in a tailspin. Now, she reached out to me in her tailspin in between sessions in order to get some clarity as to what was going on. This is something that I make available to clients to be able to call me at any time so that they can practice or take advantage of the information that I share with them so that they can stay tuned to the vibration in which they're getting everything they want. So Samira was concerned. She didn't put it this way, but she was concerned why she wasn't getting what she wanted. Why was it that the surgery was looking like, or it was looking like the insurance wasn't going to cover the surgery, which would mean she wouldn't be able to get the surgery. She said she had a good cry about it, and then decided to reach out to me. So this is the thing. I told her in our conversation, first of all, I said, the surgery hasn't been canceled, right? And she said, yes, that's right. And I said, what's happening right now is that you're not going to get the surgery. You just may not get it right now. And the reason why I told her that you may not get it is because of the equivocation that you've been in since we first met about this surgery. And she laughed and said, I get that, because now that it's been she said canceled, but it hasn't been canceled. Now that it looked like she wasn't going to get it, she said she wanted it more than ever. And this is the thing about manifestation, y'all. Typically, this has happened with all of my castles. So castles and buttons. Castles are desires you have a strong desire for, but because you have a strong desire for it and you live in physical reality, you believe that you can't have that thing. And so your desire doesn't feel like desire, it feels like yearning. And as a result of that, you have a lot of resistance, which prevents the castle from manifesting. Buttons are little desires that you have that you tend not to give any notice to. And because you don't give any notice to them, relatively speaking, you don't have a whole lot of resistance. So those things pop into your life experience relatively easily. So people have a lot of buttons manifesting in their life. But for most people, it's very hard for them to create a castle. So for Samira, this surgery was a castle for her. And here's the thing about how the universe works, the fundamental spiritual dynamics underlying how everything and all that is works. It is constantly giving you everything that you want. But you have to decide what it is that you want. And oftentimes, in your decision for what you want, you have resistance. And so, in order to lovingly support you getting what you want, sometimes the universe, well, it's not exactly like how I'm going to describe it, but I'm going to describe it this way because you'll get it. Sometimes the universe goes, so this is you, this is the thing that you want. Sometimes the universe will go, are you sure you want it? Are you sure you want it? So that you lean even more into the desire of having it. And that's what was happening with Samira. This is what happened. So an example from my life. This is exactly what happened with both the apartment I'm sitting in right now and my bike when my bike was stolen. In both cases, with regard to the apartment, as I was applying to move into this apartment, the city wanted me to go through a bunch of hoops in order to move in. And it felt as though they weren't taking my word for my qualifications. And so they are pushing back. And I recognized that that pushing back was just the universe going, are you sure you want to move into this apartment? So that I would lean more into wanting to live here and thus get the manifestation fulfilled. The same thing happened with my bike. When my bike was stolen, I talked about this in a previous episode, a previous video. There was resistance at first on the part of the management company of this apartment to replace my bike. And so rather than pushing against that, I leaned into the knowing that they were going to replace my bike, and then they did. But I had to go through that moment where the universe was like, are you sure you want your bike replaced by this company? And so the same thing is happening with Samira here with this surgery. I told her, this is an opportunity for you to double down on your desire. And then something remarkable happened. This is so good. Samira described two other circumstances, one having to do with her immigrating into the U.S., the other one having to do with being in the medical program she's in, where she had a similar experience, where something happened that she didn't want to happen, that she thought initially was negative, but then on the other side of that thing happening, everything worked out. And she recognized that it worked out for the best for her. In both of those circumstances, it worked out for the best. Even with that contrast in the middle of the unfolding, when the unfolding unfolded, it worked out for the best. And so I said to her, yes, this is working out for the best. And here's the thing, you guys, if you can always think that things are always working out for you, you put yourself in the vibration which aligns you to the fact that everything indeed is working out for you. And then you see more and more of that, And before long, you have this basket of evidence that I talk about where everything is working out for you. And as a result of that, you feel worthy. And worthiness is the sweet spot for getting everything you want. What's really cool is Samira, after having this conversation, realized the equivocation she had back in November and December about this surgery was completely gone. And she was absolutely certain that she wants the surgery. And I said to her, then the contrast you just went through has worked in your favor, because now you're aligned with getting what you want. I also told her that, so this conversation took place on, I think it was Thursday of last week. I said to her, if you can line up with your desire purely between now and Monday, you will get notice that the surgery is on. And she pushed back a little. She was like, how is that going to happen? And I said, you can't know how it's going to happen. That's the universe's job. Now, I don't think she's going to be able to relax into that yet, because she's still a new client with not a whole lot of practice under her belt. November, December, January, February, March. 5 months is not very much time in service. And so we'll see how this all unfolds. But I am 100% certain that she's going to get the surgery, and it's going to work out perfectly for her, and she's going to be better for it, as we all are when we receive the manifestations we desire. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. I'm in the process of editing it, and I realized that I didn't tell the complete story. And the reason why I didn't tell the complete story is because it hadn't fully unfolded yet. So this client and I were talking on Thursday. That's, I think, 4 days or so before her regularly scheduled session, which is on Sunday. On Sunday, when we talked, she hadn't heard back from the insurance company yet. But on Tuesday, 2 days following her session, she received word from her insurance company that indeed they were going to go ahead and cover it. And then a week later, she had the surgery. So it's been about 6 weeks since she's had the surgery, and she is overjoyed with the results and feeling really great. This goes to show how magnificently the universe will support all of our desires, and that sometimes contrast is purposeful because it causes us to lean in the direction of that which we're wanting, and as a result, become more aligned with it. Life is so good. It's so good seeing clients get it. It's so good seeing clients move into their versions of what I know, that every life experience is the charmed life. It's so good seeing clients get that and then move even more into it until they get to the point where they're like, I just love this shit. As two clients recently said. Oh, life is so good. I hope you're experiencing the good life that life is. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Although I do this for myself, I do this to amplify my own alignment to my version of the charmed life. And it's so fun sharing these videos with you. It's so fun making them. It's so fun editing them. It's so fun working with AI to produce the imagery. So until the next video, I wish you the most aligned vibration you can reach for, so that you can see that your life is unfolding perfectly for you. And even in those moments where life seems to be going wrong, that's your opportunity to lean more into your gradual knowing that everything is working out. And even in that moment of seemingly things going wrong, that's life working out. All right, I've said my piece. See you in the next video.